Well, Nick, have you ever experienced sleep paralysis?
Yes.
I
Have I
fucking
told you this story?
no, because I don't think I ever told
Okay.
you about mine.
Okay. I've only experienced it once, but
Oh,
it was not just sleep paralysis, it was a night terror. Um I had I guess it's a dream basically that it was a single moment where like 1 second like I was going to sleep and like my eyes were open but like my eyelids were like doing that flickery thing of like you're going to sleep, you're going to sleep, you're going to sleep, and then like it was a snap of the fingers, my room just went like 3 shades darker, like everything was just in more shadow, but like consciously I thought I was still awake,
hmm.
but I couldn't move, and like and I'm just, in my bed, like I can't do anything. I can barely breathe. Like this is awful, and everything is dark as fuck for no reason. And it's like it was like 9-ish at night. So like it was, still like, you know, like the moon was out. Like I guess it was a clearish night. Like I should have been able to see, but I couldn't really see anything. But like I could get the impression of my room, like I knew where shit was. So this like, all of that processing of like what's going on happens in like half a second, and then my door slams open and I see just somebody come throwing like across my bedroom and like crash into my closet,
Oh,
and like intuitively I just know that it's my dad. Like I just know that my dad just got slammed through my door and into my closet, and I just see this like giant like Jason basically motherfucker like walk into my room and slowly just turn and look at me, and it was like I had this feeling of like I wanted to scream so badly,
but you have no
but
mouth.
like yeah, like I just couldn't, like my vocal cords had locked up. Like I couldn't breathe, I couldn't scream. Like it was just a pure like it was basically like I think consciously because my mom mentioned the next day that she could hear what was happening. It was just like a solid like sound that was coming out of me as like I couldn't do anything, and like it was a solid like 2 seconds of just raw unadulterated terror, and then just like that again, like a snap of the fingers, I was awake again, like my room was back to normal, everything was back, like the closet was closed again, like nothing was fucked up, and like consciously it took me a second to process. I was like, oh, that was a night terror, like I just had a night terror, but it was the single most raw feeling of like I'm going to
Terror.
die. Yeah,
Okay.
that I've ever experienced. But it was the only time it's ever happened. But that's my night terror story.
So, I can actually get sleep paralysis like once a month.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, so at this point I've got used to it. So used to, in fact, that I think on Thursday, similar things started to happen that night, where
Uh-huh.
I woke up, or I thought I woke up, and I looked around my room and it was very dark. I saw my desk raised up, I saw my chair next to it, but I couldn't like turn behind me, which is kind of weird. Also,
Uh-huh.
despite the fact that it was like fucking dad's night, I could hear children outside playing, and I was
Okay.
like, that's a little weird. And
Yeah.
the moment I like thought that, I'm like, oh, I know what's happening. I'm not. I'm dreaming again.
Uh-huh.
Um, because like it's happened to me multiple times. Well,
Uh-huh.
and like one instance where I had this where before I didn't even know what it was is that I thought a snake was coiling around me, like a
Hmm.
python was just enveloping me and like just constricting me.
Uh-huh.
That one was like I couldn't breathe. It was hard. Um, and I woke up because I was sleeping over with my cousins, and I woke up and like I was just like had wrapped myself up in like the blanket. So I was basically just doing it
Solid.
to myself.
Uh-huh.
But this last Thursday, I found out like I heard the kids sleep playing outside. So now what I do is I slowly start to like move one of my hands back and forth.
Uh-huh.
Because I don't know why. I don't know if it's true or not, but like I feel like I'm actually moving it in real life, and I
Hmm.
use that to slowly start to work my way around my body, and that's when once it kind of gets to my head, I actually wake up for real, and
Right.
kind of get up and walk around to make sure that I'm in real life and get some water.
Uh-huh.
But the terror never really goes away, even though I know it's happening. Because despite the
Right.
fact that I knew I was sleeping, I just did not want to look behind me because I'm pretty sure I was gonna see like some fucking devil trying to eat me.
Oh.
At least that's what I completely thought. The last time this
Right. Yeah.
happened was actually after we watched fuck, what was it?
Krampus?
No, no, not Krampus. It's actually something innocuous. It was the Kappa show. Because I thought the otter was behind me that day. I could have sworn the otter was there.
Usa Usa.
Yeah, that's what it was doing. And I was like, God damn it, not this shit again.
I love it.
Yeah. Then I woke up that day and that night and just went to go get some fucking water again, and then went to sleep.
Solid. Oh, that is awful.
Yeah,
I
it was
love
awful because I didn't go to sleep until 12:30 that night. So like, even though I know it happens to me, like I still get scared.
Yeah, no.
Because like it's weird. It's just very visceral.
I don't think I've mentioned this before, but like
You don't
a really
dream?
long time ago, I used to get really bad nightmares.
Oh yeah, same.
And so like it was awful, and like I hated them, and I had like 2 recurring nightmares where like when it started, consciously I knew what was going to happen, but every time it was still horrible.
Mhm.
Like I got murdered, I got ripped apart, it was awful, and like it was never just an instant thing, it was always like there was a hunt, there was a hiding phase, I inevitably got found, and then I got ripped to shreds, and like that was the rest of it, was just pure pain. So like I hated every moment of it until like in the back of my head now, because of this thing, I now have what I just call my kill switch, which is like if at any point in a dream I start to not like where it's going, I have like an ability to just close my eyes and there's 3 things I think of in order and it just wakes me up immediately. Where like I can just, if I know I'm dreaming and I want it to stop, I can just stop my dream consciously now.
Yeah, that's.
It's the only, like, I can't lucid dream, like I can't control my dream, but like somehow my brain just knows how to stop it if I want it to stop.
Yeah, that technique is used by lucid dreamers to like, I guess, project themselves into the dream and then fuck with it.
Yeah, I think lucid dreaming, it's rather than where I use it at the end to stop the dream,
Yeah.
I think they use it at the start to like take control of it, basically.
Somewhere in the dream, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas mine, it's like the one, like, it's basically like the, like golden rope of like, take me home. I want to leave now.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah. It's click my rupee slippers 3 times, basically, except for it's just 3 words I think of in order.
Well, aside from how fucked up we are, apparently, welcome to ABC.
Our weird nightmare things.
Oh yeah, I used to have a bunch of nightmares when I was a kid. My parents wanted to take me to a therapist. That's how bad it got.
I don't think I ever told my parents about my weird nightmare shit.
I see.
My parents also very quickly, like, came to understand that I just had weird problems. Most of them were weird physical problems, like the fact that I would stop breathing at times.
Oh.
Which I think is actually what connects to my snoring that you mentioned, is because I had this really fucked up breathing problem when I was a kid.
I know some guys will have like this thing where when they breathe, it'll just happen randomly, but like they'll get like a pain around their heart, and it's apparently like it's just innocuous. It's not harmful. It's just a pain that you feel.
Huh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I get that a lot. I used to get a lot when I was younger. Okay.
Speaking of hearts, and kind of speaking of what I'm going to sell out to today, I'm mildly allergic to Sudafed, and when I say mildly, I mean when I take it, it gives me heart palpitations.
Oh.
To the extent of when I take Sudafed, my heart rate goes up to like about 180 on average.
Weird.
It's real not good.
I need to figure out if I'm allergic to aspirin, because if I am, I'm gonna go to a doctor at some point, like for some emergency. They're gonna give me aspirin, and I'm going to die.
Yes.
So
You should figure that one out soonish.
yes.
It's up
Anyway,
there with like latex allergies in terms of things
yeah.
you should know when you go to the hospital.
just get a finger up your butt with the latex and get a rash.
Finger up your butt. It's more like fucking they put on latex gloves for anything.
Well, that too.
Let me stick my finger in your mouth. Oh, you have a latex allergy? Well, have fun breathing.
I mean, I've worn latex before, so I'm pretty sure I'm not allergic to that.
I think you're fine if you've worn latex before.
And so yeah, episode ABC. Fuck.
Yeah, episode of
Goddamn.
ABC.
Shut the fuck up. Episode 74.
74?
Yeah, episode 74 of ABC is on now. Where we talked about episode 22 of Demon Slayer, 9 of Dr. Stone, 8 of Fire Force, and 9 of Vinland Saga. In that order.
Is it in that order? It is in that order, isn't
Yeah,
it?
Demon Slayer, Dr. Stone, Fire Force, Vinland Saga. It's in my notes. It's the same as last week's notes, so I'm pretty sure it's right.
For some reason, I guess maybe it was last season of ABC. We were doing our like holdover show at the end, so I'm used to the episode 20 something being at the end. So that's what threw me off.
Yeah, that would make sense. It'd also be kind of a nice order where it's the small numbers in the front and big numbers in the back.
Yeah, new stuff in the front,
Yep.
old stuff in the back. Yeah.
Well,
Anyways, that's just the way we're doing it.
Demon Slayer. So in this episode, we get to meet the 10 Hashiras. They've got like different element.
Brendan
types
forgot
of-
because he's a bad host. He's Brendan. I'm
Oh,
Nick.
yeah,
we still do introductions.
Brandon. Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
We will say that that our us like telling people about our problems were the introductions, where we talk about how we fucking have nightmares every week.
Yeah. I mean, we still do have to say our names at some point. If we want to be vaguely official podcasters.
Okay, whatever. I'm Aaron Mankian. This is Lore. So this is episode 22 of Demon Slayer. Last episode, we have Tanjiro basically completely knocked out. And when he wakes up, he sees a bunch of strong-looking people. And that's the 10 Hashiras. Well, 8 of them. One comes in later, but we don't know the other one. There's one that's still a mystery.
Technically, it's 7 of them standing around because Gyu is too cool to stand in a line.
That too. No,
if
no,
you've learned
it's
anything
6.
about the Hashiras, they're vaguely... 2 of them are vaguely edgy.
Yeah, we only see 6 of them, because Gyo's off to the side, and then Snake Boy's up in the tree, which you don't see.
Oh, right, there's 9 of them. That's
No, sorry. 5. No,
6.
yeah,
there's
6.
Yeah.
It's 6, because the other guy
we
comes
see
in
six,
later.
We see 6 in the line.
Yep.
Gyu's off to the side, Snake's in the tree, and the other guy comes later.
Yep, so yeah.
There are 9 total.
Listen, we meet 9 of the 10 Hashiras, and then...
I think there only are 9.
There's 10. I think previously they said there's 10 Hashiras.
Did they?
That's what
There's
I
only
saw.
9 in the... There's only 9 in the opening.
Because I think the last one's... Well, because we're probably not going to see the last one, if there is one. That's
But
what
I mean, why wouldn't he still be there, though?
I have no idea.
Like, it's the line of all of the Hashiras. Why wouldn't they just put in, like, a shadow in the background or something?
That's a good point. I'm not sure. It's entirely possible there are 9 and I just miscounted or misread something. Like, read 9 as a 10, but... For now, yeah, we see 9 Hashiras.
Yeah.
And they all come together to discuss what the fuck they're going to do with Nezuko and Tanjiro, as well as, their semi-annual meetup as well, but, that comes later. Because Tanjiro broke the rules. He is helping a demon, aka his little sister. Most of the Hashiras want to punish them, basically by cutting their heads off. But the Demon Slayer Corp master leader guy comes up and he says that he has allowed Tanjiro to do this, to have Tanjiro and Nezuko become Demon Slayers, even if Nezuko's a demon, because he feels that she is a good person. She's different from other demons. And might be helpful in that way.
Yeah.
But
and specifically, I think part of his reasoning was they've already met Muzan, therefore there's something interesting about her.
Yeah. And to prove him wrong, though, the Wind Hashira, silver-haired guy, tries to provoke Nezuko into a fight. And they head off into a shaded area where Nezuko comes out, and she stares daggers at him, getting ready to fight. Because I'm pretty sure no one gets stabbed multiple times.
I don't think he's provoking a fight. I think what he's doing is he's trying to, because he cut himself in the arm.
He's trying to
get
provoke
her
her.
to bite her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, specifically, he's trying to look, tasty human blood, fucking bite me, bitch.
Yeah. Well, that's the quick episode in a nutshell.
Yeah. The Hashiras are cool.
They are cool. I like them. We do have some extra edge on 2 of them.
Yeah.
Fucking Wind Kid, who's just anger manifested into a little ball of silver hair.
And scars. He's basically just scar tissue, silver hair, and anger.
Yep. And then Snake Kid is just teenaged Orochimaru.
He's Sasuke. He's sitting in a tree, Brandon.
Oh
he's
my
Sasuke.
god, you're right. Yeah, he's Sasuke if he decided to go with Orochimaru.
Yeah, basically.
We also have, finally, her name, Butterfly Girl Shinobu, even though we've probably known that for the past 2 episodes. I just kept forgetting what it was. Gyu, the water guy. We've got the fire guy. I'm not sure what the fuck
Flame
his name
dude,
is. Yeah.
whose voice actor I feel like I recognize but can't place.
Probably. I'm just going to call him Fire All Might. He's All Might.
Pretty much.
And Fire Daddy's, love child.
Endeavor.
Yeah,
I feel
Endeavor,
like there's no way that that voice actor is not in My Hero Academia. Everything about that voice says, hero voice.
Yeah.
But I just can't place it, and I haven't looked it up.
He has that, that projection that he's just, yelling in a room all the time.
Yeah.
We have Hana Kanazawa. I don't even remember her character's names anymore. I just know her as her voice actress. As the voice actor's real name. As the fucking strawberry... What do we strawberry and, watermelon? I guess the watermelon hair girl. Because watermelon, candy flavor, always has that sort of color. The pink and the green.
Boob window girl, yeah.
Boob window girl. I should have gone with
AKA
that.
Power Girl.
Power girl?
Yeah, Power Girl. She had the fucking boob window.
Oh. Oh, yeah, you're right. That's okay. Anyways, she's the love Hashira. I'm not sure
God.
what her like power is going to be. We have black haired dude, little black haired dude, who just I imagine him as Lindhart from Fire Emblem for some reason. I feel like they're very similar characters.
All right.
But we've got him who is I want to say Shadow Hashira. I actually don't remember. Yeah, he's very forgettable. We've got fucking Andre the Giant Stone Man.
Yeah.
So we've got a nice little variety cast of characters here, who are
His
all gonna
eyes
have their time at the
suggest that
point.
he's possibly blind, or at the very least uses some other sight other than sense. He's probably gonna have some Toph Earth sense bullshit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. His sword isn't gonna be a sword; it's gonna be just just a plank of stone.
It's
Sharpened
a flat
stone.
plank of stone.
Yeah,
That would be amazing. Yeah, nobody who has Earth powers and white eyes has ever been able to see. I feel like.
this is very true.
Um,
But hold on, real quick. That voice
Okay.
actor for the leader of the Devine Corps is Muzan, right? That's Muzan's voice actor. They're the same
Is it?
person. I'm pretty sure they're the same person.
I don't think they are.
I didn't look up the casting,
okay.
but I feel like they sound very similar.
So are you just saying they have the same voice actor?
Yeah,
or are
I'm
you
not saying the
saying
same
they have
person. I'm saying the
person?
same voice actor. Yes, voice actor.
Okay. It's been a while since we heard Muzan talk, and I didn't go back and listen to it recently.
I should have looked this up because it would have been interesting, but I feel like they are the same person.
Maybe. It's been a long ass time since we saw Muzan talk.
Yeah.
So it's sort of fuzzy in my mind. You might be correct, but I kind of vaguely feel like we looked this up before, and it turned out they weren't. Like I feel like when we first heard Muzan,
Oh my god, yes, you're right. I
you
think
may
we
have
looked it
said
up.
like they sounded the same then, and we looked it up, and I think they weren't.
Yes.
I think that's what we decided, or we
Okay.
figured out. I don't remember for certain. I feel like you've definitely at least brought it up before. I don't know if we actually did look it up or not then.
But I feel like there's some sort of relation between the two, but we'll find out later.
Okay.
Okay, they're not the same voice actor. As far as we know, they're not related yet. But some notable works that the Demon Corps leader has done is he's actually Joey in Yu-Gi-Oh! He's also Minato, Naruto's dad, as well as Kiyomaru, the bone guy from the Naruto Sasuke Escapes arc.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. He's done some fucking old shit.
Yeah, seriously.
Fucking Joey Wheeler.
Blue Eye, or no, sorry, Red Eyes, Black
Right,
Dragon.
Kunai with chain.
Kuna with chain.
Oh, he's Yoshikage Kira. That's what I
I mean,
think.
to be fair, like all of the Joey memes that we know is technically the English voice actor.
Yes.
I don't know if the Japanese voice actor had the same inflection of like vaguely Jersey.
Fuck Jersey. Also, this is just for me. He was also Yoshikage Kira, the main villain of JoJo Part 4. I think that's where I'm getting this from. Or like it sounds similar. Because he did play a major villain in another show that I watched.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting how the mind works that way.
Possibly. But yeah, he shows up, and it was kind of weird how subservient the Hashiras were when he shows up and tells them to quiet down. Like, I feel like there's like, it felt creepy to me. Did you get that?
Did it?
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, it sort of just felt like the
That they had a lot of respect for
combined
him.
like respect of like
Yeah.
you're the leader, we're your whatever officers basically, combined with like you're clearly like fucked up dude. Like we all kind of feel bad for you. Like you're not, he clearly isn't like warrior general, like super badass lead the troops into combat. Like he's clearly fucked up and like on the edge of death. So like they all sort of have that air of deference combined with like, we kind of feel like you're about to kick the bucket, dude. So we're gonna be extra nice to you at the end of your life.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if we
That's
knew this
that's
before.
what I felt.
I don't know if you knew this before, but I forgot his name. Old Sensei. He was one of the Hashiras. He was the blue Hashira, water Hashira before Gyo was.
Urokodaki.
Urokodaki, that's what it was. I knew it started with a U, but because they mentioned Naruto, I kept wanting to say Uzumaki.
I
But yeah,
can
Urokodaki
understand that.
with the little goblin mask. Man, I fucking love that mask so much.
And speaking of him, we also got a letter read out to us
Yep,
that affirmed how much Urokodaki believed in our boy Tanjiro and
and Nezuko as
Nezuko.
well. Yeah, and he mentions that he and Gyo will commit seppuku. Yeah, seppuku.
And Tanjiro.
And Tanjiro?
Yeah, it's all three of them.
Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah, we'll commit seppuku. I can't pronounce
Seppuku.
seppuku if Nezuko actually kills someone or
They won't
tries
cut
to
their
eat someone.
stomachs open. You can all just put it that way.
Yes, they'll commit suicide. They'll kill
Yeah,
themselves.
ritual suicide.
Yep.
It's not just regular suicide, it's Japanese warrior suicide, in which
Yep.
it's really like I feel like I couldn't pull it off either.
I wouldn't do it, and I'd be like,
'Cause,
nah,
like,
fuck that. I'd rather be killed
have-
like by someone
Yeah.
else.
Well, because like okay, so like I vaguely understand what is involved in it, because like it's you, the warrior, have to cut your own stomach open, and as that happens, somebody with a katana cuts your head off.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I would just like try to go for like the fake out, like cut my stomach open, and just have them decapitate me. I'm like, I can't do this to myself.
I feel like the rule is that one entrail has to fall out before they cut your head off, so that wouldn't work for you, Nick. You'd
you
have
can't just go with the fake out.
Yeah, you'd have to have like a fake entrail outside of your body already. Like have just some goat shit out there so you can just
Yeah.
start clearing it out so they only just decapitate you.
Just stuff like sausage links into
Yeah.
your like sleeve.
Exactly.
It's just like as you do the fake out, you just let them slip out. You're like, oh god, they're everywhere.
Oh no, I've cut my stomach open.
It's like the scene from this fuck, what was that movie called? I want to call it Zoolandia, but I know it's not.
Zoolander?
No. Fuck. The
Zootopia?
Disney movie. Zootopia. Blood, and death. Bleh.
Scene.
Scene.
That sounds like a grade school play.
That's what it was.
Okay.
It was at the very beginning of the movie. They put on like a grade school play about
Oh, the Predators and Prey?
the growth of predators in play, and she gets bitten by like a tiger pretend, and that's her dying. Blood, and she throws like red scarves up in the air.
Blech.
And death. Bleh.
Okay.
Such a great scene because, like you said, it is exactly like a grade school play.
But with that decision, some of the Hashiras don't actually agree with it. The Flame Guy, Stone Guy, and Wind Guy all say, even though they understand where the leader's coming from, they can't, like, as they put it, they can't in good faith agree with him.
Yeah.
All this time we also have, like, some color commentary by Love Girl, who's just all about all the dudes.
Yeah. Well, she's the love Hashira,
Yep.
so clearly she's all about fucking pulling down mad ass.
I like Shinobu the best, though. To the
like
surprise of
Shinobu
no
the best?
one. Yeah.
Why? Define to me why.
She's got black hair. Like,
That's it? That's all it does? That's all it takes for you?
oh, so she's really funny.
Okay.
At least
I
the
respect that.
funnier so far, funnier than Watermelon Head Girl, mostly because like we've only had her for an episode so far, and her joke was the same thing over and over again. Is I like that dude. I like the other dude too.
Right.
So she,
Look at you, being all mysterious over there alone.
yeah.
Wind Hashira showed up. He's got so many manly scars.
Ooh, that snake guy's kind of cool too. He's got a snake on his scarf.
You know what would really make me like the love Hashira?
What?
Is if she whipped out like a couple of like, that girl is real hot.
Oh.
Like if she went like bisexual with it, that would be the best.
Yeah, the only object to that would be Shinobu though. So
Nezuko.
far. Oh, Nezuko as well. I think she just called Nezuko cute. Oh, I don't think she's seen it yet.
I don't think she only just came out of the box.
Yeah. So we're
So
gonna get
I'm
that.
assuming Nezuko's not going to die next episode. If Love Hashira starts to have a thing for Nezuko,
She's gonna call her
I'd be
cute.
all about it.
100%.
100%,
Yes. Shinobu's just gonna be standing there, wondering what the fuck's going on.
pretty much.
But the leader tells me, to quiet down. But the Wind Hashira, he stabs Nezuko a couple times, slices arm open or hand open to pour blood into the box in order to provoke Nezuko to bite him once again. And that's where the episode ends. It is with Nezuko having to make a choice: either don't eat someone or eat someone.
Yeah.
Or try to do that.
Because basically the philosophical side of the argument is the Hashiras are of the opinion like if she eats somebody, they're dead. So like even if Urokodaki and Gyu are willing to stake their lives on it, that's not going to save anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll still be dead after Gyu and Urokodaki kill themselves. The innocent person will still be dead. To which the leader's response is,
No
"Yeah,
one's
but you
died
can't
yet.
guarantee she's gonna kill somebody." Yeah.
Yes. No one. She hasn't actually committed a crime yet,
Hmm.
and like there's no evidence that she will commit a crime. Just because she
Right.
is a demon doesn't mean she will do it. Given the past, like she's for 2 years, even though she's been asleep those 2 years, I don't think he mentions that because that kind of defeats his case. Even though she's been asleep for 2 years,
Eh,
she hasn't killed anyone yet.
I mean, to be fair, like at the same time, I think part of like the canon of the show is that like if demons go a long time without eating people, they go like kind of
just-
feral
Yes.
or die.
I
And
think
Nezuko is not dead or feral yet,
Yeah.
so clearly the even though she was asleep for 2 years, isn't having a huge effect on her.
oh, that's a good point. Yeah. But
So
that's the main entire focus of this episode is the debate between whether or not
Mhm.
Nezuko should stay alive.
yeah, and it does sort of lend itself to like an interesting philosophical concept
Yeah.
of like, is it worth preemptive killing in a case like this, where like you are Nezuko is a
A real
a
threat.
demon, yeah. A member of something which literally eats people and nothing else, and like the Hashira's only ever have heard of demons who eat people. So, is killing Nezuko justified? I feel like we're slightly like skewed as audience members, so I don't think either of us can really have like an impartial opinion of this. But it does have like a interesting philosophical component to it, I think.
Given like the context of the show, shit, nah, damn it, I was trying to like say something smart and I completely forgot.
Because
Ah,
like the only
fuck.
other demon we've seen who doesn't really eat people was the medicine lady,
Yes. Well,
where I think
she's eaten people before.
she's eaten people before, but like now
No,
she's
doesn't.
on a diet of basically like blood transfusions.
As same thing with his little protege, her little protege,
Yeah,
the
her little
kid.
protege, the "Don't touch my lady" dude.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like they're the only other now non-human eating demons we've encountered, and I don't think the Hashiras know about them. So I guess it is like an interesting, quandary for the Hashiras. Like you can understand why none of them really trust Nezuko.
Yep. But we'll figure it out what the final decision for them is gonna be next episode. And
I mean, imagine as long as Nezuko doesn't bite the dude, she's gonna be fine.
yes, basically, he just doesn't
Because
bite him.
and the leader has already said like, I understand what you're saying. I hear your opinions, and I'm going to choose to ignore them.
Basically, yes, he is the leader after all, and they have to
Yeah.
listen to everything he says.
That's how being the leader works. Those are the rules. I forget what
Exactly.
play that was from. I hear your opinions and I'm choosing to ignore them. I forget what that's from.
There is a line that Adam from Mythbusters says. Actually, it is actually from a movie. I reject your reality and substitute my own. That is from a movie, but I don't know what he's quoting. It's some like obscure shit too.
Okay.
I only remember it from Mythbusters.
I think there's a play about like Navy officers on a ship. It's like kind of a comedy, and at some point the like commanding officer, I hear or I understand that you have objections. I'm choosing to ignore them.
Just like any old commander will do.
Exactly.
And much like Senku would do when he's listening to girls hit on him in this episode of Dr. Stone, not Demon Slayer. They have the same initials. Forgive me.
I'm really sad that he didn't come out with a like when she basically came out with like, what do you want me to do? I'm really sad that he didn't come out with like blow me, and then
Blow
cut
me.
to her doing
Yeah.
the wind thing.
Well, technically they're not blowing anymore, so they're
It's
like,
true, they're not, but still, the fuck, my brain flatlined.
as it
The
often
joke
does.
was there.
Yeah.
The joke was there, but I understand why they didn't go for it, but I wanted it to a little bit.
Yeah. Well, in this episode of Dr. Stone, we follow Senku and the gang as he gets a new workforce and then uses that workforce to create iron. And with that iron, he creates some strong-ass magnets to make an electric generator. You know, we're just going down the line, down his little plan.
Yeah.
All while he's trying to handle the new character, Magician Man. I completely forgot his
Yeah.
name. Who is one of the unpetrified.
Something Gen. I don't remember what his first name is.
Let's call
I
him
think it's
Gen because I'm
Tomioka?
pretty sure. Oh no, Tamioka is someone else. I thought.
I don't remember.
Well, let's call him Gen.
It's definitely Gen.
But yeah, Gen shows up because he's part of Tsukasa's crew, as Senku finds out very quickly, and he's also one of the unpetrified. And in a fun way, we actually find out he's unpetrified, because Senku kind of just recognizes him out of the blue, and I thought that was kind of bullshit. Because like, how he's gonna find out like out of all the people that can be petrified, like he knows who this person is. I thought that was a little like, what would you call it? Contrived, but this
Okay.
guy's kind of famous, so it kind of makes sense. At least famous in Japan.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh well, that makes sense. I like that a way of kind of getting around it.
And he also sort of like just outs himself as a resurrected.
That as well, very quickly.
Because when they're having, pretty much immediately they're all of the citizens of the village are
Yeah.
enjoying the ramen, and as Senku is making out dishes of ramen, he hears somebody behind him say, "I really wish I had a cola to go with this."
Yeah,
And that sort of raises Senku's hackles, because how the fuck are ancient people going to know about cola? Only the resurrected would know about cola. So
which
he kinda
isn't
outs
completely
himself
true,
immediately.
because they could have heard stories about cola.
It may be, but I feel like we've already sort of the only story that they know about
Is
has
Momotaro.
been Motaru.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're not going to pass out a story about this drink, Coca-Cola.
So maybe there was like a Coca-Cola employee that just really liked the brand, and like told his 10 kids about it back 2 generations ago.
Somebody was actually just really hyphy about Steins Gate. They told everybody about Dr. Pepper.
Yep.
Um,
But I also do like how they handle Magician Man's like primitive or post-primitive. I'm not sure how would you call it, but like if it's back or forth. But his skills, where he has a lot of illusions and sleight of hand tricks, and he uses that for that as advantage. Because the villagers probably don't know these tricks as well as we would. Because he uses some pretty simple ones, like
the back palm.
the back palms, a lot of back palming. That's actually the only trick we see.
Yeah, he only whips that one magic trick. Other than that, he's just more of a like smooth talker.
Yeah.
In terms of like
That
getting you
sly
to do what
guy.
he wants. Yeah. So like he basically just baits people into doing what he wants
Mhm.
through like, wow, it'd be super awesome if we could do this thing, and if only we could, if only we had electricity, we'd be able to wrangle up some multicolored spears for y'all nerds.
A regular old Tom Sawyer.
Yeah, pretty much. So he's much more of the smooth talker than what I thought, which was I thought he was going to be more like mad scientist-y for some reason, just from like
Yeah.
I guess the white and the black hair and what I thought was neck stitches, but actually just turned out to be his clothes. I thought he was going to be more mad scientist-y, but I'm actually not super disappointed that we have like, I'm in it for myself. Smooth talker is one of our resurrected now.
Yeah, I
He
kinda
makes
like
things
it.
interesting.
He was pretty funny the entire episode.
Yeah. And I appreciated his honesty of like, I really like ramen, but I really don't like work. On the other hand, Tsukasa has no like scientific stuff, but he does have girls.
Got the women.
I'm in it for the booty. But I think the power of electricity is going to tip the scales in the favor of stay with Senku.
Yeah. So they use like a little like a tanned hide vest to protect themselves from the fucking hot ass iron, and they use a wooden block to forge it into a little rod beam.
Yeah.
Beam rod, whatever. And like I like how he mentions like, oh, I hope there's lightning soon, and it happens immediately after he says it. What are the chances?
It was a solid joke, and at the same time, like, it's sort of tied into like it wasn't actually super like helpful because they didn't have the copper yet. So they had to like
Yeah.
speed melt the copper and fucking rip up a plank off the bridge, which created a problem, so that they could lay the lines for copper wire basically. So like it was actually problematic in terms of the show that the lightning showed up right away. So it wasn't super fortunate. They actually made it more of an issue, but
Yeah.
it was kind of cool.
I did like how they turned that joke into a plot point, a source of conflict in order to reach their goal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we got
so-
to see Gen in action because of it.
Yes.
Because he had to go smooth the way with the fucking goon squad that rolled up.
Yep. We also get to see Kohaku in action for just a couple seconds, where she jumps up real high and then like does a weird like pole dancing move to get the rod or get the spear into the ground, which she could have just like hold it two hands, and then did like a Zelda down thrust or Link down thrust. But she has to just like curl around it for some reason.
I don't understand that either, but fucking.
If it works, it works.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it was bad.
Right now, Kohaku is like all of the eye candy that this mangaka has to work with, so he's fucking just using her for all that she's worth.
But she's also funny, at least. There's that.
She is, yeah.
I'm still enjoying her as a character.
We didn't mention it last time, but there was all of last episode 2 where she trapezed around in like fucking her underwear for like half of the show.
Oh shit, you're right. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, while they were hunting for black sand, and she was just fucking hanging out in like the lady equivalent of a loincloth.
So, after they are able to magnetize the rods, we start creating a generator with 2 copper discs and 2 magnets attached to, little cranks. And we also have copper ready, just like you said last episode. We're going to use a lot of the stuff that's in the hut, just so that we don't, go off searching for it. Kind of just a shorthand. Like, we're going to find it eventually. Might as well just have it already.
Yeah. So there's not really like an easy way that I can think of to find copper. So instead, they just give it to him because nobody wants to see Senku and friends go out and mine copper for half an episode.
Exactly. So they create some wire with it as well.
Yeah. So they slap down some wire, and then they use the rest of it to fucking make gigantic copper plates. They pound that shit into a circle and use like a little mini hole punch to hole punch out some copper plates or copper circles. They grind that shit down into like actual proper discs. They slap the 2 discs side by side with the magnets in between them. You got yourself an electromagnetic generator right going.
And you start, cranking that shit, and then you make fucking light, whatever.
Yeah, you don't make lightning, Brandon.
I was trying to say like a cool version of light, but I didn't know what that would be. He brought forth lucidity.
Stop. Just stop while you're behind.
He makes a little light bulb. In a very nice like ending scene where everything's kind of being illuminated, and we see a very like a space shot of Japan, and we see the light start emanating from the little spot where he's at.
Do you get it, Brandon? It's symbolism.
Oh my god, is it, Nick?
Do you think it's the light of science returning to the world, and you could see it from space? The symbolism isn't blindingly obvious or anything.
I was hoping we would see the little dolls up there too. I mean, they're still up there.
The dolls just out into space.
Yeah.
I don't think they are. Well, actually,
they could be.
Maybe they are.
Depends on like where, like what orbit they were like sent, or how high they were sent up.
Yeah, I don't know how fast shit degrades up there, so they probably could still be up there.
It's entirely possible it also hit like an old satellite and just fucking dented that shit.
Yeah. Or they got fucking just ripped to shreds by space debris.
Or maybe it depends on what like material they were, but they could have been like irradiated and like bleached, because that's what happened to the flag on the moon, didn't it? It's all bleached
I think
now.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there ain't no atmosphere, and the sun, it exists.
It's strong. And that was Dr. Stone. We continue to follow Senku on his misadventures of bringing science back into the world with primitive ways of what we use now, like the generator. I think at some point they are going to use that river to make
that river.
Is it a river, lake? I don't know. It doesn't look like it's moving that fast.
What do you mean? The thing that the island is on?
Yeah.
The village island is on?
Yeah.
Maybe down the road. I mean, we first have to become part of the village to use like the water around the village.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we're gonna become part of the village.
I don't know if they're gonna like that light. They're gonna be like, "Oh, that's demon shit. Get the fuck out of here."
You created light in the darkness. Some fucking just bad shit over there. Yeah.
What are shadows?
We already have the village is clearly not thrilled with the existence of Senku just hanging out on their outside or out the outskirts of the village doing sorcery. and now he ripped up a plank from the bridge
And
and
that's
created
war.
light
That's
in the
war.
darkness. That's war. Fucking the Goon Squad is gonna come back and act like weirdos again. Because fucking the Goon Squad, as led by basically Gaston,
Oh my god, he is Gaston.
who had basically LeFou behind him on the left. Just they're gonna be a problem somewhere down the line.
What I do like is when that plank was taken, the guy who tells the chief, it's just, or I think it wasn't that. It was during the ramen scene. The guy who tells the chief about the ramen's like, "Hey, do you want to go eat?" And the chief's like, "What? What the fuck did you say?" "No, I don't want to go eat." And he just looks so dejected and sad. He really wanted that fucking ramen, and the chief's fucking him over. He's a bad chief. Fuck him.
I think specifically the funniest part about it was the guy even shows up and he's like, "Your daughter is feeding people out in the village," and the chief's like, "Fuck that, we're not gonna go see it. I refuse to eat anything my daughter makes." It's like, wow, fuck you too, chief. Dude didn't even show up to like that weird outsider is feeding people on the outskirts of the village. He literally said, "Your daughter is feeding people," and still the chief wouldn't show up.
Because he's let her go, sent her on her way. He's unadopted her.
The phrase you're looking for is playing favorites.
That too. But we're now a fifth of our way to having pharmaceuticals, having medicine, right?
Sulfamides, I think so.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Because now we
there's a whole bunch of steps that we're gonna like buzz through, like peeing in a cup.
Yeah. That one episode just of them trying to pee the right amount, the right ratio of urine to water.
It's actually the two of them just standing next to each other as they're both like, you have to pee first. Yeah. I'm a nervous peer.
Why don't
you have
guys
to start, and I'll start.
Why don't you turn around? But then how do I know if you actually peed or not? Can't trust this guy. So do you think?
I'm glad that they're not gonna do that because it'd be super weird.
But most undoubtedly, Gen has to return, so we won't see him for a while, because he has to go tell what's his face.
Yeah, he's gonna run up to Tsukasa.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure he's now firmly on the side of science, like I said. Because
he was light.
Yeah, he was earlier. He was weighing the benefits of food v girls. Now it's food and electricity v ladies. And everyone knows electricity better than ladies.
I mean, electricity, that's one step to porn. Like, why not? You get everything. You get to have your cake and eat it too.
I did like that as he was trying to, like, explain his rationale, we had fucking Watermelon Head who showed up who was like, "What do you mean that there are things more important than ramen? I feel like ramen's the best." And he's like, "Look, kid, you're too young to understand this, but there are some things that are better than ramen."
And the kid just leaves too.
Yeah.
I love the little watermelon girl.
She's great. I hope that she becomes like more of a thing other than just the gopher, but she's delightful.
But that was most of Dr. Stone. Where, you know, we've gotten electricity and we're furthering our steps towards our end goal, which is creating some medicine for what's her face? I don't remember her name. Girl that Senku's interested in, mostly because he can use her to
Senku
get good of the
actually
village.
care. Interested in the way of you have things and I want them.
Yes. He's low-key interested. He's not high-key interested, Nick.
What Senku is looking for is slavery with extra steps.
Very much so. He has a very, like, he is a mad scientist through and through.
Yeah.
I love him so much.
I mean, at some point, it's going to be one of those, like, Senku has fulfilled, like, all of the pressing needs of the people around him, and he has enough, like, manpower to do whatever he wants. Which is basically, you know, we've now let Senku free on the universe. He's going to create something weird. It's going to be something, like, out there, and I'm going to love it.
The internet.
We've created the prehistoric internet, and there's porn on it.
Porn. Do you interest for porn? Wait, that's the wrong...
That is the wrong tone, or
the wrong rhythm. And the wrong everything, really. I only got the third line right. Whatever. I just gotta head on to Fire Force.
The internet is really, really great.
So, Fire Force, Nick.
Trekkie monster.
Yeah. Our gang, Arthur and Shinra, continue their investigation on the first precinct. They are suddenly called out to a multiple spontaneous human combustion event where I think 4 or 5 people get turned. We're not sure because we don't actually see them.
Yeah.
Because Shinra and Arthur are both left outside to guard the building. During this time, though, they see that someone that's vaguely dressed up like a lieutenant, from what we can tell, is basically a lieutenant, has a little bug in a bottle, which he places on a drunk man's back. The bug, I guess, burrows into the person. We're not really sure what the bug does.
It sort of just suctions into his spinal column.
Something happens, yeah. And it turns into
an
infernal.
dude, infernals, yeah.
Immediately, both Arthur and Shinra are like, let's fucking hit it. So they chase him down, just completely ignoring the infernal, because other people are going to hit it.
Yeah, I wanted to make that sure. Arthur and Shinra don't immediately do anything. Shinra decides, let's chase that dude down. Arthur is basically of the opinion, should we deal with this? And Shinra basically just ignores the infernal, and Arthur just comes with.
Shinra does tell him that someone else is going to handle it, because there's like a little bunch of other fire people like right next to them.
Well, yeah, in the area. Yeah. They're not right next to him. It's just the two of them basically got the bitch job of stand next to the car. Yeah. You two stand here and do nothing.
Well, there's actually other people with them. They were like in a group of 10.
Oh, were there people with them? I mean, they were the only two like standing there.
So they were standing like in an angle that they could see that one road, but there were other people in that shot outside the building. Regardless,
I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, they run through and they try to find him. They like get into the bend in the alleyway where they see Starman, Calm, and eventually Neko Girl. And not really
mostly just the two of them.
Yeah,
mostly just the two lieutenants, because we already saw that they were looking for somebody with the white coat, so they're suspecting the two, and specifically the first one they ran into, which was Calm, tuba guy.
Yeah, they see Starman behind them. And Shinra is not comfortable pressing forward with this because there's two of them, so like they just want to back off. So that Calm tells them, what the fuck are you doing? Let's go back, and they have him back with him, and they suspect Calm as their first suspicion for who's
suspect.
Yeah,
is the word you're looking for.
Well, I didn't want to say suspect twice in the same sentence is the problem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, person of interest. He was the first person of interest.
Yes.
To the incident.
Sort of.
One of them.
You're going real roundabout with this one.
He's a suspect now. Whatever.
You're trying to get real like cop drama-y, except for you don't know any of the lingo. So you've just got like a handful of buzzwords that you're like person of interest.
Person of interest works. Whatever.
Kind of, but then when you start throwing in other stuff, it was like he's the person of interest to the crime scene where the murder was committed. Of arson.
Not arson, of like human combustion, whatever. Arson would be different.
Is murder, but murder is also murder, Miss McGuire.
I never noticed the alliteration in that line until now.
I love it. I love fucking Gus's delivery of that line. It's so good.
Meat is murder. But eventually, they head on back to the first precinct headquarters. They find out that Calm has been, is fucking off with the fucking Juggernaut, the weird-headed dude who has, like, weird body proportions. So they sneak into his room. Arthur uses, like, a little, like, one-time use, like, lock... Not even a lockpick. He just fucking slices that shit open with his plasma beam. And they start looking around. They find a locked... whatchamacallit? Shelf? Little bookshelf?
Kind of. Box thing,
yeah. They found a little lockbox, they open it up, and they find that there's a little bug in a bottle, and that's super suspect. And right when they find it, Calm shows up and is like, yo, bitches, what the fuck are you doing? And this is when Calm tells him that he's also investigating, like, what's going on. And because he's not the one that did it, which, I guess he didn't do it. I'll share my suspicions later on. But because he's not the one that did it, there's only someone else in that, there's only one other person in that alleyway that fit the description, and that's Starman. And then we see Starman doing a bunch of weird, creepy shit immediately afterwards. So we know it's him.
You summarized a lot of this episode in 5 seconds here, wherein Starman has abducted children with the help of
Neko Girl, Cat Girl,
and is basically
looking for something called a pilot light.
Yeah, looking for a pilot light, which seems to be somebody who can like
control.
absorb the power of the Infernal, but not be consumed by it.
Yeah, something of that sort.
Also, on the sidelines of this, he abuses the fuck out of Catgirl.
Oh, that was
It's
heartbreaking.
very uncomfortable to watch.
Yes. Yeah, he beats the shit out of Necro Girl. She basically like, crushed her spine, so she's just like on the floor in what I assume is major pain.
Yeah.
All while he's infecting this one kid who is actually able to kind of like not ingest, but like fight back the demon combustion caused by the bug. And we see that he's got like glowing yellow eyes for a little bit, and then he kind of passes out. And then he tries to do it with the other kids. But that's around the time that Necro Girl is able to, keep him busy for a little while until someone helps out. Until she's able to find some help. In that way, Shinra shows up at the very end and gets fucking domes fucking Starman right in the fucking head.
Find some help. She crawled along the floor and begged to God to send her mercy.
Well, no, she does find help because she uses her tail thing as a flare.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I still would very...
She's
I
just trying a lot.
Find help. She calls for help.
Yeah.
She doesn't find help. It's not like she goes out and finds it.
This
She
is
just
true.
sort of sends up a one-time flare of like, somebody please be looking in my direction right now.
Please,
And she
God.
gets lucky
Yeah.
because Shinra is on the patrol because he knows that shit's going down. He's looking for Stardude. So Shinra shows up with the fucking Gears of War stomp from the heavens.
Also, he can fly, so, super easy to see that fucking flare.
Yeah.
So, something about Calm is, I didn't think he's a good guy. Even though we know Starman for sure is a bad person.
Right, yeah.
I had suspicions about Calm, but there is that scene where he's looking at that photo of Calm and Starman and the other dude, and he's like looks very sad. He looks like he looks betrayed. So I with that scene in mind, I think he's a good person, or I think he's on the side of the protagonist for now. So I think he legitimately had that bug in the bottle to use for an investigation to find out what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering where you were going to finish with this one. I agree. I did suspect him at first because it was like the classic, I was going to like give Shinra and Arthur a whole bunch of shit for like...
Right? For just immediately believing them.
Yeah, a dude literally walked in the room and was like, oh, you found some suspect shit in my locked box. That's because I'm also investigating it. And they just immediately believe him. I was going to give him mad shit for that, but then we see Starman doing the actual crime, and so I feel like they kind of got away with one.
Mm-hmm.
But like, in terms of who's a villain, who's not a villain, I don't think Calm is a villain. I genuinely do believe that he's like on the investigation side right now.
Yeah.
I don't think like I don't think he I don't think he lied, basically is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't think so either.
It is super suspect because like that would be the first option is if he was the person doing the
just
infection.
lie
If he
about
walked
it.
in, it's just be like, oh yeah, I'm also investigating that, and Shinra and Arthur are dumb enough to believe him. But I just something about it. I just believe partly the fact that we know that Starman for sure is a bad guy. But yeah, like the picture thing and just something about him, I just kind of believe that he is also on the investigation side.
Mm-hmm.
We do also know that there is another group that is involved.
Yes, the evangelists.
Yes, the evangelists, who I'm assuming are evangelical about the infernal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly there's some, like, if it wasn't religious enough as it is, there's some other weird religious stuff going down on the, turn people into infernal side of things. So what I'm getting to is we're getting into religion wars at some point.
Woo!
I hope you're ready for a holy war, Brandon. Crusades, boy.
Yep.
If there is not a branch of the like temple called the Knights
Crusaders,
Templar,
yeah.
I'll be kind of upset.
We'll see what happens. They kind of have the Knights Templar logo though. Not logo. Sorry, the symbol with the cross.
The logo.
Whatever. It might as well be a logo.
Oh God.
What is a logo, but not a symbol? I don't know. Whatever.
There should be more like corporate sponsors for church. I feel like the logo of the Knights Templar.
Well, that's what the Fire Force is, because they're part church, they're also part huge corporation, and then part government.
Kind of.
Yeah. But yeah, the ending part where Starman's just beating the shit out of Neko Girl, that was a little heartbreaking because she's
Yeah.
legitimately sad that her hero is a fucking douchebag.
It was like physically unsettling to watch. It was very like abusey.
I mean that was, yes, that was the point, I believe.
I mean, more so than like normal of just like I'm strong and you're weak and I'm just gonna beat the shit out of you. There's something about him like just smacking the shit out of her as he's like, you know, you
Yeah.
should be stronger. You should do something. Like fight back, bitch. It was real like I'm watching some abusive husband just stomp his wife into the ground. I'm like, I just don't want to watch this anymore.
And then the ending was, for a character that I didn't really like, it was very, once again, heartbreaking just watching her just break down and start crying. This kind of made me like her a little bit more. I don't know if I don't think they're going to ease up on like the dumb jokes because they had a lot of. They didn't have a lot of it in the start of the beginning, of the episode, but they did have those lesser jokes in there, where she somehow flips in varying ways. Like she like does like some sort of front flip to get her ass on fucking Shinra's face.
Yeah,
And they're all like just annoyed about it, which is the funniest part.
it's simultaneously the funniest part and the part that makes me like kind of hate them the most is that like even in universe, none
they're
of the other
annoyed.
characters find this hilarious. Yeah, everyone else hates this. So like it just sort of it makes you like the other characters more and simultaneously hate the jokes even more
Exactly.
because nobody's enjoying them. Like it's not like the rest of the characters are like busting a gut laughing as she's like fucking eating shit on the like. It's not fucking Tendo, you know, slipping on the banana peel and eating shit on the ground. That was just fucking funny, and everyone agrees that was funny.
Exactly.
This is just everyone is annoyed constantly about this girl.
Yep.
And the fact that, you know, like even the one that Arthur went for the mayonnaise and it somehow gets up under her skirt. I don't even understand the physics of that.
Oh, well, that's the thing. You're not supposed to. Like
Yeah.
the whole front flip 2 thing. Like, there's no physics in that. It just happens. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
I like this episode. Had some cool. Not a lot of action this episode, but the few action shots there were all constantly smooth and fun.
Yeah. It was a good like world building episode basically.
Yeah. We're slowly starting to get like our actual protagonists and antagonists, and kind of see like the formation of their groups. We're getting some teases of what's going on with the Infernals. I'm pretty sure Shinra's brother is a pilot light, whatever that is.
Probably.
So that's why he's being kept by the first. So we'll see what happens with that at some point.
We did also have Shinra and Arthur be fucking jagoffs twice this episode and get away with it.
Yes.
Where they didn't kill an Infernal and then immediately believed the dude who walked into the room and was like, yes, I'm also on your side. So twice they were jagoffs and somehow got away with it both times. But, you know, whatever. It's a shonen manga that's not super trying hard to be like, you know, realistic. So I guess they're just gonna get away with shit like that all the time.
Yeah.
But it was a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
The Gears of War Stomp from the Heaven was,
that was awesome.
amazing. I do like just something about the way that they sort of do his like kicks as they connect. There's like that extra force of power of like
I think that comes from the sound.
the rocket boost. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the sound of that, like the bass heaviness of like when it connects, you just get that solid like bass with the reverb. But I love it.
Like the sound, the frame where you see like the explosion occur. It all is very like meshed. It's meshed so well that it just forms a nice experience for that 2-frame window where the kick connects.
Well, there's also like the kick connects. There was like that pause, and then like his feet just go a little bit whiter, implying there's just a little bit more force. They just get that solid crunch into the ground. Like
the hit stop.
I just like his kicks.
Hit stop is fucking great. I don't know why I like it. Because I know Monster Hunter has like a lot of hit stopping where you'll like swing your longsword or something, and right as you hit the monster, there's like a little bit, like a couple frames where it stops. And it always just feels satisfying when you do that and you finally like, push through. It kind of makes it feel like there's something harder cutting through.
Yeah, it makes it feel like you hit deeper. Like it wasn't just like a superficial like I connected. It's more like an actual like I ripped through something.
It's even more satisfying when you're using the fucking greatsword. and there's like a full second of frame stop where you're just like fighting with the
Yeah,
monster.
when you come down with like the full charge thing,
Yeah.
it's just like whoa, and it just pauses like as it connects in and then just rips through.
I can't
There's
fucking
something.
wait for Iceborne.
It's gonna be until January,
Whatever. That's 3 months from now, Nick. 4 months from now. Sorry.
4 months from now. And we're gonna have Iceborne. That's gonna hold me over to fucking Bloodlines,
Cyberpunk,
which is gonna hold me over to Cyberpunk.
Is
I
Bloodline
think
the
that's what
vampire one?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's the sequel to the Vampire one, technically.
Isn't the first one Vampire?
No.
Uh-uh.
Well, the original one was Bloodlines, and this one's Bloodlines Masquerade, I think.
Huh.
There was a really really old RPG game. It was really good though. It was back in like Oblivion days, I think.
Okay.
Well, it was a fun RPG. I'm excited.
Yeah. You're talking about. God damn it, Nick! I'm trying to move the conversation forward. You're talking about the Gears of War, Curb Stomp. Now we have. Well, this is very Gears of War related, but Gears of War has chainsaws, and our new guy, Thorkill, is also basically a human chainsaw. Where after he chops down a tree, he uses it as his fucking weapon.
Yeah.
Somehow, because that man's fucking massive.
Yes,
but if you couldn't tell already, we're talking about Vinland Saga.
That human being is approximately 8 feet tall.
8 feet tall, bigger than like what I assume is Thor's, and just uses a big ass wooden log as his main weapon, like some fucking animal.
Doesn't feel like it would be a usable weapon. I'm gonna be real right now.
No, probably not. There was a teaser where he uses the next episode.
Was there?
Yeah, but at least like to like throw it onto the ships, that makes sense. But
kind
like,
of,
not to use it to fight someone like close.
It
close
didn't. It didn't make
quarters.
sense to the extent that they were using it, and that like they spiked them into the ships to rip them apart.
Yeah,
I can understand it more of as like we threw giant logs off to like fucking batter people in their open ass ships, so like you just knock people out and make it super uncomfortable. To like because they have to like get rid of the logs, or their ship's gonna sink when they pile up a whole bunch of logs on you. Like I can understand the process. Instead, they just threw them down like stakes until it ripped the ship in half. Feel like that's not super believable. But I can understand the log throwing down thing. But the other side of that
something else that wasn't believable. Quick, is that big ass boulder he threw at them, which is about his size. Because earlier today, I saw a GIF of like this one strongman guy in like Ireland lifting up the Arcolith stones. And their stones vary from like 40 kilograms to like 335 kilograms. So like they're really fucking heavy, and like the biggest one was about the size of his chest, and like he was struggling to lift that up and like place it just like 5 feet like ledge. And like this guy was fucking jacked. He was probably as big as Thor's, or like the closest thing that would come to in real life to as big as Thor's. And there's no way that guy could have like lifted up that massive fucking rock. But anyways.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah. On with your thing.
Yeah. So the other side of this is Askeladd, in his never-ending quest to make Thorfinn's life sort of just shitty, assigns him a new go kill this guy task of go kill
someone who's literally probably 4 times mass-wise as big as you.
Oh yeah, dude is fuck. What was his name? I don't remember what his name is. Thorkill. Thank you. Thorkill has what I could, lovingly call cultivated mass.
Yes.
Dude is a beast. So Askeladd basically assigns Thorfinn with the duty of go kill this guy, because they're invading London.
They're sieging the bridge.
London Bridge. London Bridge is falling down.
Yep. This actually all happens after the Jomsvikings. Floki tries to convince Thorkill, who's actually a Viking, a Dane, who is helping out the English, to come back on their side. But Thorkill refuses because he just wants to have a good fight. Because he knows that the English are fucking pansies, in his words, and he's tired of winning all the time.
Mm-hmm. So he's hanging out for a good fight with the Vikings.
Yep.
So the Yolms Vikings, who I've been calling the Uber Vikings because I forgot their names for a while, they roll back, send in Askeladd's boys.
Mm-hmm.
Askeladd's boys get face rolled for a little while until Askeladd says, "Thorfinn, activate."
Go.
To which Thorfinn does his best Thor's impression with the leaping ability that runs in that family, clearly, because he leaps from the mast of the ship onto the deck of the London Bridge.
At least he ran at least he ran like on the beam of the mast. He didn't just like jump mid-ship to the bridge.
Oh yeah, he didn't just flat-footed jump like Thor's. He hasn't yet built up that ability.
Yes. He still needs to cultivate that mast.
Exactly. I don't know why, but cultivated mass has become my favorite phrase recently. But that aside, Thorfinn has arrived or lands on London Bridge at the feet of Thorkel, and basically the 1v1 showdown begins, in which Thorkel whips out his gigantic log, and no, that's not a euphemism. And Thorfinn has his two
tiny daggers. Once again, not a euphemism.
Not a euphemism. And then we have a fight scene in which it makes it blindingly obvious that Thorkel has like a billion, fucking weaknesses that Thorfinn never takes advantage of. Or not weaknesses, but like, exposed areas.
Open spots.
Yeah. Where like he like hefts this huge ass log run, like, yeah, it's meaty, and he's like fucking taking huge ass chunks out of the bridge, and like it looks super impressive. There's like a solid like 2 seconds in between swings. Like Thorfinn could easily just like dodge roll and then backshank, backshank, backshank. But instead, he kind of just never really takes a shot for a while in the beginning of this fight.
Well, because he's up in the air. Well, he's up in the air for part of it, because...
He's up in the air for part of it, but like part of it he's on the ground, like behind Thorkel. At least once or twice, there were a couple shots where like he was standing behind Thorkel, didn't go for a backstab as Thorkel was like hefting the log back over to the other side. Like there were definitely opportunities for Thorfinn to go for a shank that he didn't use.
Okay.
But Thorfinn basically analyzes his opponent with his super murder brain, and he's like, all of his instant kill spots are up high, failing to realize that there's one very prominent weakness on men that you can access from very low. But he doesn't go for that. Yeah, just shank him straight in the nuts.
Please, Nick, he is a warrior.
There's a Richard Pryor joke that I would make here, but it involves saying a word that I'm culturally not allowed to say. But that aside, my Richard Pryor joke aside, if you want to know what it is, you should look up this skit that he did about if he would ever get kidnapped, and you would understand the joke I want to make here.
Insert joke about Richard Pryor. Insert Richard Pryor joke here.
Yeah, insert Richard Pryor shotgun joke here. But so Thorfinn decides the best way to get access to Thorkel's weaknesses is get behind them, kick him in the shins, and then stab him in the armpit or the neck or somewhere soft and fleshy, basically. Mm-hmm. So he goes for it, he goes for the kick, goes for the face stab, and unsurprisingly, Thorkel is a warrior, has the reaction time, gets his hand in the way, and gets stabbed pretty much to the meat of the palm. Yeah. But he doesn't care, and basically just uses his ability to reach over the hilt of the knife, grab Thorfinn by the hand,
and just start whipping around.
Yeah, whip him around like a rag doll. So he basically just beats Thorfinn's face into the ground for a solid minute. And
Askeladd is just watching this happen.
Yeah,
they're not even taking advantage of the fact that they're not even taking advantage of the fact that Thorkel's busy. They couldn't just shoot a couple of arrows or anything. They're just like, let's watch.
And at some point, the Viking standing next to Askeladd, whose name I forget, basically just says something to Bjorn. Basically says something to the effect of should we do something? Are we gonna go in, go back? What's the plan here, dude? And Askeladd's like, we're just gonna hang out for a little while. We'll see what happens.
Well, then we get the signal to just leave, and then Askeladd's
they get the signal to retreat a little bit later. But at first, they're kind of just like, we're just gonna hang out. We're gonna see how this one plays out.
Yeah, then the signal to retreat comes by, and then they just leave.
They just leave. Yep. And Thorfinn's still fucking just up on the bridge, and Thorkel looks out as the retreat bugle gets sounded, and he's sort of mildly offended that Askeladd and the boys are leaving, and that Thorfinn is being left behind.
Left him
there. And so he kind of just holds up Thorfinn in the air, and he's like, do you want this back? Thorfinn, with his last sort of breath of I need to do something, cuts off 2 of Thorkel's fingers,
and then just
makes a break for it. Yep, and swims off to the shore. Because Thorfinn spends a lot of the time getting injured and
swimming somewhere.
Swimming to safety alone. It's the one recurring thing that's happened to Thorfinn in his life. I feel like. But he swims off to the shore as the rest of the Vikings retreat. The Vikings basically lick their wounds and say, "Fuck London" for a while.
Yeah. Well, fuck London with only 1/4 of our men.
Yeah. And specifically, it's because the Viking king is like morally offended at what's happened here.
Yeah. So they leave. 3/4 of them like go off to other campaigns. I think part of them go off to fight in Wessex. That's where Askeladd's men are going. And then, you know, like I said, a fourth of the men are left at London to keep on the siege, specifically with the prince, who's supposed to lead the charge. And we're gonna get some more information about them later on, I believe. And I'm really interested to see where that whole like part of this is going. Because right now it has like what's going on with the prince and like the prince's, I guess, like adoptive father, not his real father, like the one guy who's like actually trying to take care of him, and like where that side of the story is going and if it relates to what's happening with Thorfinn, because Thorfinn is gonna go with Askeladd to like somewhere else. Yeah. So we're gonna have like two stories going on, one with Thorfinn and then one with the prince, and see, you know, some stuff.
Because that was the last thing that happened, was Thorfinn rolls back up as the army sort of marches off, and we find or Thorfinn runs into Askeladd again, and Askeladd again does his best asshole impression. He's like, "Hey, look at this drowned rat that rolled himself up on the sea.
You're still alive?
Am I going to have to kill you now, or are you going to come with?" Thorfinn pops his shoulder back in, and then kind of just waddles his way off. And we finally kind of have the, you know, from beyond the grave, Thoris is basically doing his best Mufasa impression as Thorfinn says, "What part of war is fun?" And you can literally hear Thor's dead ghost being like, "I fucking told your ass. It's bullshit."
Simba, listen to me. Don't go to war in the Pride Lands. Just leave it be. I know it's all fucked up, but it's Scar's land now. Just live out here with your two gay dads.
Just live out here with your two gay dads and what's probably your like half sister.
Oh yes, Nala.
Just
Nala,
get
right?
it in, son. Yeah, Nala. Get it in, son. Again, I've been watching you constantly. I saw what was happening last night.
Can you feel the love tonight? That's probably one of my favorite parts of that movie.
It was good.
Second only to Be Prepared.
It does break down if you think too hard about the fact that Mufasa was the only male lion in Pride Rock. It starts to get super incesty, but, you know, other than that, it was a solid song. When you're young, you're not thinking of that,
just don't think about the implication.
Yeah.
Just enjoy the song.
Right, exactly. When you're young, you don't think about it. You're just like, oh yeah, they're just two friends, becoming more than friends. Yeah. You don't think about it too hard. As you get older, you start to have these thoughts of like, Mufasa was the only male lion. How did Nala show up? That starts to get uncomfortable. But you just don't think about it that hard.
Yeah. So that was most of Vinland Saga. Even though you did mention like there are a couple of weird, I guess not story, but like fight mechanic parts of the actual fight, I thought overall looked really cool. Like when Thorkill is like throwing out his punch, and you just see it like speeding up and just growing even bigger towards Thorfinn. You could like feel how hard that must have hurt if you'd gotten hit, because that man's hand was about the size of the fucking frame.
Yeah.
Man, what a fucking unit.
I mean, he was an absolute unit. Cultivated mass.
Yeah.
I don't use that phrase lightly. He had cultivated mass. Dude was shredded.
Yeah. But I was right about him being a Viking. Or like being
were.
related to Vikings, yeah.
I kind of didn't expect it because he was on the London side. Yeah. So I was kind of surprised that he was just basically a Viking mercenary who decided to ally himself with London, but it was kind of cool. And I could understand the like Viking, you know, his side of it being I don't want to fight these bitch ass, you know, Englishmen. I'd rather fight you strong ass Dane men. So come fight me, bitch.
We also get a quick little side where the Englishmen are talking about how they can't understand what they're saying because he's speaking in Norse.
Oh yeah, the language jokes.
Not really language
jokes, moments.
Language moments, yeah. I do like that they're doing that because, you know, even though they're still all speaking Japanese, that is, you know, something that they are keeping consistent is that people from different areas can't really interact with each other because they don't know the language that each other talks.
Yeah.
Very fun, and interesting.
It is like, yeah.
Keeps the world consistent.
Right, yeah. And it's very, like, it's weird. Like, it's hard to express through an anime.
Yeah.
Or, like, I know that usually in manga they get away with it with, like, different fonts and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Where, like, they use some really, like, fancy font. They're like, this is French. And then they'll use some, like, really, grotesque font. Like, this is Danish. This isn't social commentary or anything. But, like, in a anime trends or an anime adaptation, you can't really do that because it's all just people speaking. It's like you kind of have to have these moments of like an aside of somebody saying like, "What the fuck are these weird people saying?" to like convey what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So like it is sort of awkward, but it can be awkward, but I feel like they do it well enough in the show.
Yeah. And we're gonna get a song change, episode 12, by Man with a Mission, who did Song Database Nick. So you get to look forward to that.
Oh, God, really?
Yep.
Oh, hopefully it's going to be better.
They also did Raise Your Flags, which is the first opening to Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans, which everyone loved that song, who were watching Iron Blooded Orphans. We're also going to get an ED change, but I don't know about that one. I didn't care part of it.
Oh, okay.
But I can't wait to see that Prince. I want him to do some cool shit. I don't want him to be like some punk ass bitch who like pushes out immediately. I'm expecting big things. Also, I'm expecting Horderland to come back at some point.
You're expecting big plays from the Prince?
Yep. Also, I want Horderland to come back. I want her to kill Galm, I think it was.
The brother?
Not the brother, the uncle.
The uncle, I mean?
Uncle, yeah.
For some reason, I just think of him as Askeladd's brother. I don't know why.
Mostly because Askeladd looks ancient. He looks old.
He does. Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure like how old he's supposed to be.
Probably not that old, realistically.
It's just like the wrinkles on his face, It's probably all the sun. He's not. It's very bad for his complexion.
Yeah. Because I imagine, Viking piracy lifestyle is a young man's game.
Young man's game, and a lot of scurvy too. But that was Vinland Saga, episode 9. So to recap all these shows, I would say I'm enjoying Demon Slayer the most right now. And then
enjoying what the most?
Demon Slayer.
Okay.
And then Dr. Stone and Vinland Saga are on like equal footing, and then Fire Force is under them. But I'm not enjoying any of them. I still like all of them. Just Fire Force a little bit less than the rest.
I feel like my enjoyment of Demon Slayer is like coming to an end because the show is coming to an end.
Slowly,
and I know,
calming down.
Yeah,
yeah,
like it's basically like it's an expectations thing. I don't have any more expectations of like really cool hyphy shit happening because there's like 3 episodes left, and I'm assuming at least 1 or 2 of them are going to be like rehabilitation episodes.
Hey, let's get you unfucked up.
Yeah, fucking Zenitsu and all 3 of them basically need to be repaired. So like, there's just not going to be like super hyphy shit that's going to happen anymore. So like, I'm still going to enjoy it. I'm just not excited about it. You know, like it's just going to be like normal day-to-day shit instead. Yeah. So like, my Demon Slayer enjoyment is at a low. It's still a good show. I'm just not expecting anything to like crazy to happen. Whereas like with the other shows, like there's still crazy shit to be seen.
I'm promised something.
Excited. Yeah, exactly.
I'm probably most excited for Dr. Stone. The way they build up, just Senku just hyping up the creation of his little contraptions is just so fucking awesome. I love it so much.
Yeah. And like everything that happens, I think it's a good pacing of like, there's going to be like a couple major like overcome this milestone. And like usually they, combine some like, we have to invent something so that we can overcome this thing so that we can get to the sulfamide drug that we're trying to get to at the end. Like, this compounding problem is always super cool to see because it's never just like, we need to find, whatever, black sand to create iron. And like, they just, like if they had been like, we need to find iron and they'd just gone and tried to mine in a mountain for 2 episodes, I would have been sort of annoyed. But instead, like, they got magnets, they fucking dredged the lake for black sand and then had to figure out how to melt the iron. So they had to invent ramen so they could get people to melt the sand. Like, it's a thing of like it's not just focusing on this is a problem. We need to literally fix this problem. It's like Senku's like, I have a problem. Let's take a detour here so that I can come back to this problem here in 5 minutes. Like it's that like wavy logic of like things aren't super linear. Like I don't know exactly what's going to happen next. There's always like an offshoot invention that happens that you're like you don't know what he's going to do. So it's like, and we invented ramen for no reason was kind of cool to see. And like the next, and we did this for no reason, or like not no reason, but like
We did this because it'll help us, later on.
Yeah, the unexpected inventions are cool because like we know that he's going to get to sulfamide drugs at the end, and there's a whole bunch of steps in the middle that we saw. Like we know where he's going. It's the stuff like the crazy offshoots that are cool to see because like it's the unexpected stuff of like we need to overcome some random problem that's going to come up in the middle of sulfamide making. So he's going to invent something cool and crazy and weird and kooky to overcome it. That I'm liking.
The author definitely knows what to leave out. Like you said, and it does keep it kind of going in a nice, nice pace. And Fire Force,
and like the ramen thing.
Yeah.
This is the last thing I kind of want to say about it. With the ramen thing, Senku used ramen as the way of like we need to find cheap manual labor so we can melt the iron. He could have gone into the village or had Watermelon and Kohaku and Chrome go to the village and be like, "Look, we're trying to create a magical drug that's going to save this girl. If you love this girl, you're going to come with us." And they could have, basically conscripted volunteers that way with like an appeal to emotions. But they didn't go that way because it's not interesting. They went with the let's invent ramen and have people like us way instead. And that was way more cool than just a boring, like, let's go prey on people's emotions. Be like, save my sister. It was cool to see him invent ramen rather than just beg her off, like, save me. Mm-hmm. So, I'm really liking it.
Yeah. At least for Fire Force right now, we're not in the meat of the story, so we're slowly building up to this next arc. So, things I think are going to start picking up soon.
Yeah,
we're slowly starting to uncover the mystery.
The evangelicals.
Yep.
So clearly they're going to show up soon now that we know something, at least their name.
And then for Vinland Saga, I'm not sure, it's not really building up to anything right now. Well, actually, it's building up the whole prince thing, kind of. Like, it's kind of keeps on teasing that. Because last episode we saw the prince, this episode we saw, part of the prince again. We were not seeing everything that he's doing yet. So they're doing something, they're going to do something with him, and then we continue on Thorfinn's adventure of trying to do something cool on the battlefield so that Askeladd will let him fight him again, and then get his shit pushed in again.
Askeladd, fight me! Askeladd, fight me now! Askeladd, fight me now!
But we are getting very much like those conflicted emotions where Thorfinn just is beginning to get tired of war very fast.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
Our murder baby is understanding that war not a pleasant thing.
Yep. Hopefully we see fucking Thorkel again. God, that man's fucking awesome. His death is gonna be so cool. He's gonna die. Like fucking
him and his what, 8 fingers?
Yeah, he has 8 fingers now. He didn't even fucking wrap him up. He was like, whatever, man. I'm a Viking. I can deal with that shit.
He just held his 3 fingers and 2 bloody stumps up in the air as Thorfinn swam to shore. He's like, "Baby, come back."
Yep. What wonderful series we're watching? Series we're watching this season. Next season's gonna suck. Damn it.
A little bit.
What would you like to sell out to today, Nick?
Well, I mentioned in the beginning, I'm selling out to Sudafedrin.
Sudafed!
Which I'm mildly allergic to.
Yay.
Despite the fact that I'm mildly allergic to you, holy fuck do I love you. Anytime I have congestion, fucking 12-hour Sudafeds all day, baby. I fucking pop those things like candy. I have heart palpitations because of them, but I do not care because I can breathe thanks to Sudafedrin. So if you're ever sick, fucking buy maximum strength Sudafedrin from the clinic, or the pharmacy, I mean.
Oh, right.
Don't settle for that box shit that they have out in the store. Fucking find your way to a pharmacy and be like, look, maximum strength. 150 milligrams Sudafedrin. Supreme. I love it.
All right.
Shout out to you, Sudafedrin.
I'm gonna sell out to Zenogre from Monster Hunter because he's my favorite. He's my favorite fucking
monster.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome. Even though his armor set kind of fucking blows because it's not really useful. I forget what it gives you, but I think it gives you Challenger.
thunder resistance?
It does, but like that's beside the point. Because thunder resistance is useful for a couple of the monsters, but like the actual ability Challenger isn't all that great. I believe it gives you more attack and defense when the monster is enraged, but like you might as well just have the extra attack anyway and just go with attack up instead of Challenger. It might get better now, but I don't know. I did see the armor set, and the armor set still looks fucking rad. Hopefully they allow like the armor layering. I forgot what it's called.
Transmogs.
Yeah, transmogs. If they do, I'm gonna be so happy. That's all I want. Also, the other new monster slot's that too. It looks like a Cthulhu shit. Fucking, it's like a squid dragon thing. It's got tentacles all over the place. It summons water. It fucking glows. Get fucking ready.
My body is sort of prepared. I guess at some point in a lead up to Whirl or Iceborne, we'll have to break out Monster Hunter again.
Yep.
So I can fucking actually get good shit and be ready.
Exactly.
Because I'm pretty far behind you now.
Not too far. I only have like some extra decoration stuff, but I digress. That was episode 74 of ABC. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening, our audience of none.
You keep saying that, and it hurts me every time.
You're the light of my life, which is to say that my life is very dark.
Always.
Always and forever.